Welcome to the Dogish podcast, the podcast dedicated to dog parents and the topics, events, and personalities impacting their lives. My name is Sylvia West, founder of Dog Up in This Bitch Dog Training, and I'm here with my co-host, Jasen Arias, founder of Forever USA. Today, we are talking with Erin, Mastopietro, and Michael Benatar about their amazing company, Dope Dog, which has been featured in Oprah Magazine on her first pet list that she ever did. And they make dope for dogs, if you couldn't tell by the name of the company. So just wanted to get down, talk to you guys about what you think the value of CBD is for pets, your experience with it, and more importantly, Jasen and I both have pet companies that we created because we are diehard dog mom and dog dads. And I just wanted to know if being a dog mom or dog dad is what inspired you to create your company, Dope Dog.
Do you want to take it?
Well, yeah, it was James. So it was Michael's dog, but I get to hop in on it because we were dating. And James was his number one person. Tell me. No, just kidding. So yeah, we started this company out of a need for our own dog and because of our own dog. James is picky. I mean, you could give James's background.
Well, yeah,
I don't want to take your story.
I mean, James was a puppy. He had 2 ACL surgeries, like back to back, when he was like 3, and they kept saying he was going to be, arthritis in his knees. And as he got older, I realized that this was going to be a bigger problem. We lived in like a place where there were a lot of stairs, so a little struggling. Slowly, you notice like he doesn't want to jump on the bed anymore. And
he was so young.
Yeah, well, he was young, but then
now he's
and then when
how not to interrupt, how young are we talking? Like when you say a puppy,
he was like 2 and 3 around that age. Yeah.
And
so
how did he tear his ACLs?
I mean, it was just degenerative. So it's just a lot of pits have it, but he was just running around in a park. And then I saw this limp and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like maybe he just did something to it, took him in, and it said it's a full tear. So like dogs don't have like real ACLs, MCLs or something. It's like something similar to that in humans. So he had that. And she's like, well, the other one might go at some point. And then right after he finished that surgery and was like back on his leg, the other one went. So then he had to go back and get another surgery. So he's been good. The CBD has been helping. And that's why we developed Dope Dog. Because at the time, back in 2017, CBD wasn't like a thing. It wasn't like popular like it is right now. Everybody knows CBD. You can get CBD, anywhere you can want to find it these days. And I think at the time when we started this, we thought this was kind of a thing that could not only help James, but a lot of other dogs in the similar situation that we didn't want to use.
Well, the medicine.
Yeah. And the medicine was the issue that I had to keep giving him tramadol, which was affecting his liver. And I had to keep going into, the vet and get blood work and make sure he's okay and everything's functioning.
Because of the medicine. Like it was like
because of the medicine,
to be on this medicine, you have to get checked. So that like red flag.
Yeah. So that was like the main issue where I wanted him to obviously live longer, the longer the better. And I knew CBD didn't have any, side effects like that. And we developed our first cookie, our first biscuit, the Calming Crunchy peanut butter flavor in late 2017. And in September, we launched the company.
Wow.
Yeah. But to take it really back, it started as like, let's put this CBD oil in James's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it was our CBD oil. And then it evolved to let's put it on a treat. Cause it was really our experience of like, how do we know this works, use it on our dog, and then have picky James like it. So we were dripping it on other treats. And then it kind of was like, that would be a great idea. If this treat was infused with CBD, a treat that James loves, he didn't know, he couldn't smell it. And that's how the Calming Crunchy came about. And we did have just that one product, which is still today our number one. But yeah, it was definitely for him.
So this just started out of your guys' kitchen.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it evolved and, it like a lot of times people say like, oh my God, like, you started a business. It wasn't as easy as it, like we make it sound here. Like there was a lot of variations of things we were trying at the time. And Erin was working, I don't know where you're working, but like she was let go and we had this opportunity where your company closed down.
That's correct.
And we had this this opportunity where we're like, all right, let's try this out and see.
I just love Michael that you painted as this opportunity. You're like, so we had this great opportunity and Erin's like, yeah, I lost my job.
Well, Erin had
and
like
he swooped me. He's like, "I gotta do Dope Dog," but no, it was really a lot
It
of
was
the
very-
things were happening.
it was
and
organic.
All the stars aligned.
Yeah.
It's very organic the way it happened, I think.
Yeah. And I actually ended up going back to a different job because, you got to pay the bills and startups are tough. And looking back, it seems like, I would do that again 10 times over. But I'm pretty sure in the moment, it was probably like, what am I doing? What am I doing? This is crazy. But yeah, eventually I went full-time Dope Dog. But at the moment, it was both. So, yeah.
Wow. So we can thank James then and your kitchen of I can only imagine you guys just like concocting in your kitchen with like different ingredients.
Yeah.
So so the name, I just have to know really quickly like where that name.
Michael's brilliant head.
I mean, it was really
That's
random.
Where all our ideas come from.
At first, honestly, it was going to be called Mr. James Treats. Like that's what we were going to call it.
yeah.
Not as good. That was like the domain we had.
We had a logo for it, Mr.
Yeah,
James Treats.
We had all that, and it was
yellow.
I was just like sitting there one night on my phone, like going through domains. I buy a lot of domains, like a lot of ideas I have. I'm like, all right, let me go get this domain. I realized that there was a .dog domain, and I didn't know, like, oh my God, I'm like, here we go, we can get this. So I looked up CBD.dog, all this stuff, all taken, but dope.dog was available. So I wish I had a better story for it, but it was just randomly me like trying to buy domains. And
that's a great story.
And then we got
that's a great story.
Yeah, dope.dog. It's a great name. A lot of people still think it's like dopedog.com, but it's dope.dog.
Yeah, just simple, right to the point.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Perfect. So I think on that note, we will go ahead and take our first break here. And when we come back, more about Erin and Michael and Dope Dog.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us back. So we're sitting here with Erin and Michael, and we're sitting here talking about CBD. And this is a topic that's really exciting to me. I would love to know, like, maybe a couple things that are misnomers. Like, what's something that people get typically completely wrong about CBD, or like automatically infer about the business? Because that, especially across the United States, California and some of the Colorado and even Nevada now, they've changed their laws. But I mean, places like Texas and things like that, they're still holding on to some of the older mindsets.
I guess the biggest thing would be at the beginning when we started, a lot of people thought it would get you high, and people were like, oh my God, I can't believe you're getting your dog high. And there's no THC, we're well below the 0.03% of THC in our CBD. And I think that was like probably one of the biggest, right? Like,
yeah, at events, like people would walk by and just be like, oh, like, flabbergasted. Yeah. And there was a learning curve for sure. And it's getting better. But to be honest, I mean, it is in the cannabis family. And when you think cannabis, you think marijuana and weed leaves. And that is why, another reason why we chose kind of the direction of our branding is to make it feel okay to use this great natural plant derived supplement and feel good about it. Like when we started using CBD, we like went into the weed shop in Colorado when it was first legal, and I felt like, oh, this is so bad. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm a goody, but like it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to go to your pet store and pick out some wonderful supplement that is safe. So yeah, there's still work to be done with CBD, but understanding that even though it is part of the cannabis branch, CBD is its own chemical, and in that way it has no psychoactivity. THC is its counterpart and does a lot of different things. But
so when my dog takes this, or somebody's dog takes this, what are some of the effects that like they might notice? So they're not gonna get high, right?
No psychoactivity.
Right. What are the effects that they feel?
Yeah, it's very mild in the sense you might not really like feel something. You'd feel more relaxed if you were stressed, possibly. And a lot of the studies being done are around arthritis and inflammation. So if you were in pain due to a swell, in your muscle or inflammation like that, you would feel relief.
I always say to people, like when we were at events, I would always say it's like very similar to an Advil. Like you take it, and it's like 4 to 6 hours, you feel better, and you don't want to feel anything different. And I think that's the point of CBD. It's like you can take it without really knowing you took it, but be like, oh wow, I feel less anxious, or I feel this. And I think for the dogs, you know, with arthritis or joint pain or separation anxiety, I think that's where it comes into play. So they don't freak out that they're feeling different.
Maybe it's the absence of feeling.
I don't know.
Something bad, you know?
Well, no, that's why I relate it to an Advil, because it is so like, I take it, you don't remember like, oh wow, like my arm feels better. Like you don't want to feel like your arm floating above your head. So, I think just it's wow,
or maybe you do.
But it's noticeable, right? Though, so like you guys could see this, like when people give this to their dogs, it's something that they'll notice in their dogs and the way that they're acting or the way that they're generally feeling. Like I think we all, you know, have this idea that we can connect with our animals and become aware of that kind of stuff. So I would assume we've never given our dogs any kind of CBD or anything like that before, but just last night we just noticed that our dog Brownie was, for some reason, back in the master bedroom, hiding underneath the bed, like shaking. Something spooked her, and so I think she has anxiety issues. So this was something I was excited to hear about today, if that makes sense. Did we lose you guys?
Kind of.
Oh, there you are.
we go.
Just froze just a little bit.
We're back. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think with the CBD and everything, our internet connection's unstable. With the CBD, I feel like the effects should be that mild. And I think a lot of, dog parents know when they're giving it to them, as long as they're dosing correctly. Hopefully they can help whatever issue comes up. And a lot of it, a lot of our customers use it for anxiety and joint pain. And I think obviously with anxiety, it's kind of tough to actually see it, but if your dog is calm and relaxed and you're like, okay, yeah, that worked. But I think with the joint pain and the arthritis, especially in James's case, and a lot of the dope dogs that use it, I think that's the most noticeable. Especially, we have a lot of dogs that use it that are show dogs. And, maybe if they're doing that all day and their joints are getting sore, whatever it is, it's almost like, an athlete, like, let me take a little of this so the inflammation isn't there. And it's always bringing down that inflammation. And, we use all natural human grade ingredients in our products. So I think that also helps as well. So you're not putting a lot of bad stuff into your dog's body and hopefully just bringing down all that inflammation.
Yeah.
Especially in humans too. Like,
yeah,
you can take it too.
Yeah, I've been putting the dope dropper in my coffee.
I was just going to say, I saw that post the other morning. I was like, Erin is now a dope dog as well, taking it in her coffee.
It's been a week, I'll tell you that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So this is all human grade stuff then?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the treats I've eaten, that's a little weird, but yeah, I've totally eaten the treats. They're pretty good. I mean, they smell amazing, to be honest. We really, yeah. And then the oils, we were like, okay, well, if we're dropping CBD in our mouth, what would we want? We would want MCT coconut oil, because I already did that, use that in my coffee. I do bulletproof coffees, and it's a healthy fat and it helps keep you full. And there's a lot of other benefits for that. So that's it's called carrier oil. So that's the only other ingredient besides CBD in our oils. And that was what I was putting in my coffee. And we did also come out with a salmon one again, like, how else could we trick dogs into loving their CBD? Like, something really fishy. So, really simple human grade ingredients that our dog loved, I guess you can say.
Very cool. Anything else? What's another topic? Like, is something that that people typically get wrong?
Well, I'll chime in here, Jason, because I did. Obviously, I'm a fan. My dogs are dope dogs, and my late dog was a dope dog right up until the end. And I have written several blog articles and done a lot of research into CBD, and know that all mammals process the cannabidiol in exactly the same way. So my endocrine system is going to break it down in the same way that my dog's endocrine system is going to break it down. So a lot of the studies that are out there for CBD for humans can essentially be applicable to dogs as well. And I know a lot of clients of mine who use CBD to manage epilepsy and things like that, where I think like results are really palpable, because our dogs can't talk to us, although mine talk to me, definitely. So what do you guys think about like that? What are some of your testimonials that you get from clients who are really seeing the results? Because, Tallulah would go from being totally freaked out by fireworks to chilling watching TV, you know? So it's a very, very noticeable, stark change.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I love the fact that I get to be on the phone and emails with my customers still to this day. And I mean, the evidence from them is sweep, you know, groundbreaking. That, you know, there's a lot that they use it for, and they can see the results. Anything from as calm as, like, you know, my dog slept, to these two, this is what happened. I gave them the dope drop. She would update, this one customer would update me every couple weeks. Okay, I get 500. Then I went to the doctor, and then she said this. And these are, like, you know, miraculous seeming stories.
We're also not saying that it can cure cancer or tumors or anything like that. So.
Absolutely. And that's why it's all anecdotal. It makes me happy, but it's tough when you can't claim this, of course. And the studies they're there. There's a lot of human studies, as you mentioned, Sylvia, around CBD with epilepsy. And then there are a couple. There was one in 2018, just a few years ago, with dogs specifically. So we're finally reaching the point where the data's in, it's being tested in humans as it has been, and now it's finally they're running some studies on dogs, specifically for osteoarthritis. So this particular study was high dose of CBD for a controlled study, or double-blind controlled study of dogs, and the results were really, really positive. No negative side effects. This is just one study done at Cornell, but I mean, there's going to be more of that, and I'm really happy to see this, because I think the veterinary community eventually can embrace this as a really good tool.
And I think once it's actually, if something, whatever passes, if marijuana becomes more legal, CBD restrictions, because right now in the world of CBD, there isn't a lot of rules and restrictions on, you know, regulations on where your product comes from. How is it, you know, where do you process this and anything. So I think once those regulations hit a little more, and there's like a clear stated, you must provide this evidence in your product, so we all know where it's coming from. I think that's a big part of it. And we do it at Dope Dog. You know, we get everything third-party lab tested. Our things are tested beforehand with COAs. And I think once more of the companies come out and start backing this, because, you know, even with us, we have to get different, you know, processors and credit cards and banks, and they still see it as this illegal thing, even though it's, you know, in Whole Foods. And that's a struggle for us as well, because you need all this to kind of go through at some point. So when that starts to clear up a little more, I think there'll be a lot more testing going on. And, you know, we've spoke to some researchers about, you know, maybe potentially down the road, you know, backing one of these studies and seeing, you know, how does it work with arthritis, or how does it work with anxiety in dogs? And, you know, we're not there yet, but I think once all that kind of goes through, right? I mean, that's like what we're waiting for, because it is very sketchy. So if you do buy CBD, if you don't buy it from Dope Dog, but you buy it from other companies, you know, double check, like, they have the third-party lab test, the COAs, make sure you know where it's coming from, because if you're buying CBD at 7-Eleven, probably not the best one that you're picking up in the store. I don't know, but I would just say, just make sure. And, you know, there's a lot of weird things going on. So that's like kind of the sketchy part about it, because it is still very in this like weird gray zone.
Yeah.
So it's been hard kind of getting through some of the red tape and stuff, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say if you want to start a CBD business, I would tell you do something else. This is the toughest thing to do. You can't do anything you normally can do for a business. We can't advertise on Facebook, can't advertise on Instagram. You can't have a normal credit card processor.
Yeah. Square was like, bye.
Yeah. People just kick us off. Like our credit back when we first started, like our credit card processor just shut off. And like for a week, we couldn't sell any product. So it's obviously things have gotten a little bit better now, but we were still
determined to bring CBD to the world.
So it's just, it's
we're
not
still here.
It's almost like we have like something behind us, like slowing us down a little bit, because all these things are just kind of in our path, and it's still tough. And even till this day, I mean, there's all these alternative options for people that are in the CBD world. And eventually it will clear up. Even anything, like I can't actually market CBD. I have to like give you a different story to get you somewhere else to understand what we're selling. And it is, I mean, I'm sure.
Which is so silly, because it's like, this is such a helpful and harmless product or chemical, you know, but it's treated very seriously, like high alert.
which I'm sure a lot of people don't know.
Probably good because, there could be bad things in, depending on how you harvest it and, what you mix it in, you don't want people to be false claiming. So I understand, but
let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll talk about that a little bit. That's kind of fascinating to me. Like, how are you guys connecting with people, even though you're not allowed to, like what are the unique ways?
Talk about what you do.
That? Yeah. All right. Quick break.
So we were just talking about FDA regulation and all of the hoops that you guys have been careening through as you're trying to market this amazing product with relatively no side effects that is truly helping your clients and your dogs. So talk to us a little bit more about how exactly you are getting your product out there, because you guys have amassed a pretty amazing following on Instagram. You're doing all the things. But from what it sounds like, you're literally not allowed to be like, hi, we're Dope Dog and we sell CBD for animals. So what's that like?
I think at the beginning, we had this point when we were talking to people in the marijuana business and they're like, either you go all hemp, everything says hemp, or you go CBD. And we never understood it at the time. Remember, we were talking to somebody advising us. And we kind of just stayed in the middle. We were like, we're going to do CBD, but maybe we'll do a little hemp on the packaging at first and see how that goes, because maybe store regulations. We didn't know what was going to happen. And I think when we started to realize okay, let's just stick to what we know. And it is CBD. We're not going to lie to people. We're not going to, if you go on Amazon right now and you type in hemp products or CBD products, you're going to get hemp seed oil, and it's not real CBD because Amazon does not sell CBD. But I think the growth of the company was very organic, and we're not, the projection isn't like this. It is a very steady walk up a hill, and I think the organic growth is actually better for us because we're not just making products and doing random things that don't make sense for the company. And I think people that have been with us have stayed with us for a while because it is a much tighter community, and we're growing. We meet people at events, we go to shows, we go to our stores, we talk to our store owners that we work with, and a lot of community online. And I think that's the only way that we've kind of seen the growth. And it's not as fast as some people that have other businesses where they can just put a Facebook ad up and get, 1,000 new customers. We can't do that. So for us, it's the real connection. It's coming on podcasts or doing podcasts and talking to people, and maybe we get one new customer. And that's, that would be great. But if not, it's still part of what we're trying to do just to continue the growth. And I think, right, there's no other.
It's word of mouth is the most, it's slow, but it's the most powerful. If your best friend told you a story that a product helped her dog so much or herself, you're going to want to try it.
Yeah.
So it's more of a lasting relationship, I found. So I think we're lucky, because we've been able to get this good product out to a small group of people, and they've been able to share it, and it's grown this far without any false advertising or any advertising, really. So I'd rather have a true customer than someone that's just oh, I saw this on Facebook.
And go ahead, Jason.
So I want to hear some of these stories, and we touched on it just briefly before, but you also mentioned that the word of mouth is so powerful. Is there one or two stories, maybe one in particular, that has really stuck out on a dog that this has helped, or a family that this has helped? And
I keep going back to the more serious issues, just because it means so much to customers. So we have a customer in Florida whose dog was suffering from tumors, and actually, so that was a word of mouth story, I'm realizing, because her neighbor was using THC for cancer as a human.
Is this Barbara?
No,
because I know somebody sent us a video about her dogs. Remember?
Barbara? Yeah. There's a lot of people.
Well, tell the story then, because I don't know.
Well, basically, she wanted to try cannabis on her dog because her neighbor tried it on herself, and then she found Dope Dog, and then now she has her friend as well using it. But basically, her dog shrunk his tumor. And she just couldn't believe it. And I felt like I kind of got a play-by-play because she kept calling me, and her daughter, it's cute. Her daughter was calling me to help her place the order, because a lot of our customers aren't so tech savvy, but they'll call me I need my CBD oil, or I'm so and so's daughter, like, and it just means so much.
Please don't call us though.
No, call me.
It is funny though, because some of our customers do call us, and then it's like, okay, let me just place the order. It's tough because it's only us, so we answer the phone. So if you call us, you're gonna get us. But it'd be great if you just order online.
Yeah. But yeah, we also, another reason I know that word of mouth is working for us is because we did have like a little survey, and we let, to get feedback from like our customers. What's your favorite flavor? What are you using it for? And how'd you find out about us? So when I see that, like, what is it? Like 50% of people are like, oh, I heard from a friend. Like, there you go. That's the word of mouth in action.
Okay, go back, because this was still a little bit interesting to me. So you had, was the daughter calling for
her
this
mom, yeah,
for her mom?
Because we have a subscription program, and there was just confusion around checking out with the subscription with the proper product. So she was using our 500 milligram dope dropper, which is the MCT oil. It was the product featured in Oprah. Possibly she found us in Oprah. I forget how she originally found us after she heard that CBD was great. But yeah, her daughter called and was like, my mom's confused about the subscription. Like, just make sure that it's coming once a month. And then she ended up calling me back, and they added the treats to it. And I don't know, I've just been working with her for a couple months, and I just loved hearing the updates of her dog. And then she texted the business line photos. Tesha, if you're out there, I love you in Florida.
Oh,
I'll give you a call and see how it's going.
And so when you say that it shrunk the tumors, like, what did that mean for, like, whether it's quality of life or longevity? Like, what changes did they notice?
Well, her dog was fine and was going into the doctor often. So just, I think mobility was noticeable, and then like the physical tumor was visible, and then not, because you can like kind of see it. I don't know like all the details, but she just kind of updated me.
Love that.
Doctor was like kind of impressed, like, wow, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, is what she said, her doctor said. So
I think it feels good to just even have an option of something to do and try that's not going to have there's really no negative impact or anything like that. And I know sometimes as a dog dad, you can feel a little bit helpless because they can't talk to you, and there's not a lot of options you can do as far as home remedies and did this work or did this not work, and having something to at least be able to try and see some noticeable effects keeps you from feeling so helpless.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree. And to chime back in, I think that this is just I just love you guys so much, because I think that you're just the epitome of like really passionate pet parents who just completely shifted their entire lives around to create a product for their pets, for other people's pets. I just find it so inspirational. And I think that it really is an attestation to how deeply our dogs move our lives, and like for all the pet parents out there who love their dogs just as much as, you do or I do, to see you guys taking that pet love to this level where you're creating products that are helping people on the other side of the country, with their dog's cancer. I mean, how does that move and shake you on a daily basis?
It's kind of tough sometimes to sit back and kind of realize what we've done, because it is moving so fast and you're kind of in it every day, emails, calls, meetings, whatever it is. And I think sometimes you don't realize that there are these people that are out there, like it is nice when we hear from the Tessas or the Barbaras or whoever calling us to kind of stop us and like, oh, wow, we're actually doing something great for all these other dogs. And that's the mission of it. And it is hard sometimes to realize it, because you are doing it, every day, Sylvia, you're training dogs, and like, you don't get to see like the joy later on when like the dog is actually walking well on the leash or anything like that. But you hear, it's like, hey, you did a great job. Like, my dog isn't crazy anymore. It's like, those are the things that you want to hear. And sometimes people don't show you that. And, not everybody's going to say like, great job, but those people that do kind of go out of their way. Like, didn't we get a Christmas card from somebody that sent us a Christmas card? And it was like just thanking us for making the product. And she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to like send us a Christmas card, which was great.
Our customers are amazing. I love all of them. I truly do. And we just had, we have someone helping us answer customer like questions, and I kind of missed hitting up all of them because they want to share and they write back and they, thank you. This is what happened to my dog. Here's my picture, like I said earlier. But we also saw this when we were out. We were sold out of something.
Hold on. So Erin said that we have somebody helping us. We don't have just somebody. Erin's sister helps us respond to customer messages, so it's not just like some random person out on the internet.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah, it's all in the family.
It's not like we exported our
so it's literally Erin's sister,
and she like texts me like, okay, what should I write back? Because like, there's a lot of questions about like dosing, and so I'm trying to like educate her so she can educate the customer. So most every ticket she actually like asked me, and I still see everything. And what I was going to say before is that when we were sold out of our treats, because we, the holidays were insane and a lot of backed up with COVID, I saw very loud and clear how many customers were relying on this for their dog every day. That's why they're on the subscription. And I was like, we cannot be sold out. This cannot happen again, because I'm messing up their plan, their recovery plan or their just longevity plan. Like, so a lot of people wrote like, my dog really relies on this, and they're thankful, but they're also like kind of mad if we don't get them their CBD in time. So yeah, it's nice to be reminded that there is a purpose behind this, and it means a lot to a lot of people.
The other thing that you guys brought up a little bit ago that was new to me on this is the difference between CBD and hemp. You touched on that briefly. Can you guys kind of expand on that a little bit for me?
Yeah. So hemp is part of the cannabis family as well as marijuana. So there's a hemp plant and a marijuana plant. So the marijuana plant is naturally higher in THC. The hemp plant, it happens to be really, really high in CBD. So that's where CBD is extracted from, the hemp plant, which is in the cannabis species.
But
so
I
that's
think
kind of where it gets confusing.
I also think that the confusion sometimes online is, you can go buy hemp seeds
and then hemp seeds.
Or hemp oil, but that hemp oil is actually hemp seed oil. So there's confusion because it's such a general term. It's like encompassing so many different things. So I think that's why now like CBD is so prominent on a lot of packaging, because you kind of need to clearly state what it is instead of just like, this is hemp, hemp something.
Right. Because hemp can be used to make paper, and like hemp is
Rope.
great. It's a fast growing plant. And hemp it's wonderful. And it could be CBD.
And
it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. So that's the thing. So yeah, I mean, that's why we chose to use the terminology CBD, but it's derived from hemp. CBD is derived from hemp. So yeah, science lesson.
Let's take another quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll catch a few more topics. All right, welcome back. So we've been hearing all these great facts and all the growth and everything, but Dope Dog also gives back to the community too, as well. And I know that both Sylvia and I have a big passion for animal welfare and the stigma behind rescue dogs. What are you guys getting involved with and what you're doing?
Yeah, well, we've been lucky to attend so many dog events and work with so many rescues. And to be honest, the people rescuing dogs are doing the work. We just are always amazed by them. So from the first year we started, we've done an impact program. So we basically choose one rescue that's local and meaningful to us and our customers.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to make a bigger difference by donating 1% of all sales to our impact partner every year. So we'll donate product as well, because it really does help a lot of the dogs under their care, but obviously a financial support is really meaningful to them. And I think they just go so above and beyond, and the rescues deserve more credit. So that's why we rolled out our
we just finished up with our Christmas, our 12 days of giving. So we have our customers submit a whole bunch of rescues during the holidays, and then we send out 12 different goodie bags to all the rescues and supply them with a ton of Dope Dog. So I think that's been a really fun one, and we always try to involve the community more in the rescues and giving back. So we always tried to make it like kind of a social thing too, and put it online and, promote these other rescues in different areas, not just in LA, but kind of like all over the US. And I think that means a lot too, because they get to experience Dope Dog. Maybe in that town, they never had CBD, and we're just, sending them and donating a ton of product over to them. And I think that really means a lot. And it's kind of great too, because you build a bigger community and you get to meet these people or hear their stories. And I think when we first started, we worked with a local rescue here, Wags and Walks. And actually that's where we got our little baby Zoey from. We rescued her. Did we get her before we started Dope Dog?
Yeah.
So we got her.
Wait.
I think we did.
Yeah.
So we worked with Wags and Walks, and we would do events, and we would donate, and we would kind of give out goodie bags. Like the partner we work with, we give out a promotional like little thing so they can take home with their dog,
it
from the
helps
rescue.
because when you're rehoming a dog, they're freaking nervous as heck. And so the feedback from the rescues has been like, yes, please, we need to provide these new dog parents with a little bit of, support in transitioning this dog. Oh yeah, Wags and Walks, and you did the photo shoot for them.
Yeah, so did their Christmas photo shoot. Yeah, so we really tried to like get into the community, and I think a lot of times when you're just working at home, and I keep going back to like the working, but the community part really does matter, because without it, it would just kind of be like this weird, meaningless thing that you're just doing at home. So I think with the community, and right now our partner is Dee Animal Rescue over in, where are they?
On Doheny, Beverly Hills. Yeah.
So they're a little bit smaller, but we have a really great connection with them, and we do a lot with them. We had our 2-year anniversary of Dope Dog there.
3-year anniversary.
No, it was our 2-year anniversary there last year. Our 3-year was COVID, so it was COVID year.
Oh.
So we did it 2 years ago.
Oh,
yeah.
What happened in 2020?
So yeah, we tried to like interact a lot and invite people out, and I think it's a really big part of it. And hopefully, we continue to grow that and make it even more meaningful, because we actually yesterday on our podcast that we do all about kind of like entrepreneurs and business, we spoke with somebody trying to make a deeper impact of what was
he
it
called it social entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
When you're doing you're making a difference and a dollar. So
so I was asking him, we do this, and we're doing it as like, because we really wanted to, but how do you make it more part of the business? So it's not just, not that it is a second thought, but make it, more like without this, the business couldn't operate. And we're trying to figure out more plans. Like, I think it's a good idea.
In our giving back.
Yeah. To make it like a core part of the business, to actually give back more and donate more. And like, how does that look? And we don't know yet. And we're still trying to think. We literally just talked to him yesterday. So we're kind of excited to see how that can be more meaningful, because it was a very interesting conversation, because a lot of companies don't have that social impact. And if it's the core part of your business, then it becomes,
it will stay forever.
Yeah.
As you grow.
It'll just be there. And I think that means more, so we're going to hopefully see in 2021 what we can do.
That's awesome. So you guys partner with a different shelter every year, or does that move?
Yeah. So we did Wags and Walks, and now our partner is Deity.
Yeah. So we
awesome.
did move, but then we thought
we might just stay with
Deity for now. I mean, it was a weird year last year. Yeah. So we were just like, all right, let's stay with them this year, because we didn't get to do any events. And I think that was the point of like trying to get out in the community. So hopefully this year we're allowed to do something at some point, but we'll see.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I could see that being huge though. Because we've done a lot of work with shelters and visited, shelters across the United States. And for me, that's been one of the saddest parts, is when animals are, they're actively going through the emotions of being homeless. You can see that in there. And if there was something that could just help bring those nerves down for them, that would be huge. Even just like having visitors, the number of dogs that are just too crazy, or they're dealing with fence aggression because just random people are coming by and they can't get their can't be adopted. So that's awesome. Very, very cool.
Yeah. And then just, on my end, because I used to be in the trenches working in the rescue. That's how I got my start in this whole doggy world. But now working on the end of the pet parent who has just adopted the dog out of the shelter. There is and I have to talk to all my clients about this. I'm like, there is a decompression period that happens. Your dog is going to come home and they will not be themselves for 3 days. It's going to take them 3 days just to unwind their body from all of the stress that's happening. So that's where I, even as like a dog trainer, would be like, hey, CBD might be a really great option to just kind of soothe that process and help make it a little easier. So in the rescue world, we have the 3, 3, and 3. You've got your 3 days to decompress, your 3 weeks to settle in, and your 3 months to feel at home. So, there's that transition period that is very real, that I think, You know, the fact that you guys are already in there in the rescues and opening people's eyes then and there, that's when they need it. I wish I had it for my dogs when I was, you know, working in the shelter. Like, I wish we had that to provide for them.
Absolutely.
So we got time for one more question. How do you get started? Like, if this is a new world to me and I really haven't jumped into any kind of CBD for my dogs or anything, like, where would be a good place to start with you guys?
I mean, I guess we made our common crunchies, our little biscuits, to be kind of that first kind of testing the waters of CBD, because it is so natural to give your dogs treats. And I think that would be a great way to do it. A lot of people, you know, always eventually find CBD when their dogs have issues. But I think if you know about it before, or you see your dog aging, you know, you can add in CBD now and kind of slowly get that into, you know, their system and their routine, and become kind of a part of, you know, what they're doing in their diet. But yeah, it's definitely what we have found so far. I think a lot of people are just, when they find CBD, it's because they needed it. And I think eventually there'll be more of, you know, trying to grab it beforehand, proactively getting it. And I think that's, you know, what we're doing now with James. I mean, even though it's post surgery, but still, I know as he gets older, it's going to get even worse. But yeah, I think that's the great way. Just grab some biscuits. I know a lot of our retailers also have like little samples. You can go in and ask them for a sample to give you one and try it out. We know a lot of dogs are picky, so that's why we offer. Yeah, that's why we offer some samples. We have 3 flavors, but yeah, some dogs just, you know, put their nose to it, or if they love it, you know, you never know.
Yeah.
And you
technically you have 4 flavors if you count your Merry Munchies.
Yeah. That's seasonal though. Yeah. So no longer available. I don't.
And so where can you get some of those samples? You guys mentioned that you're in retailers and stuff like that. Is it mostly in Southern Cal, or where are you guys?
So if you go on our site, there's a store finder, and you could find all the retailers on there. Just type in your zip code and you should be able to find somebody nearby. But yeah, I mean, if you're listening to the podcast, we could also like offer like a discount code if somebody wants to go grab a bag or something like that. We can put it in the description or something. I don't know what it would be called now, but we could offer, you know, like 30% off or something. Somebody can try a sample.
Yeah. Deal. Love that.
Amazing.
Love that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and close out the show, guys. It has been an absolute blast getting to hang out with you and learn about all of these different things, CBD and your pet lives and stuff like that. Sylvia, it's a blast hanging out with you as always.
You know, it's so. I'm just over here sipping coffee.
Like Michael said, we'll put some stuff down in the comments section of this and in the description. We'll get everybody hooked up.
Get your dope dog.
And don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach Michael or I. Just call us. Michael.
Apparently you could just call and
just give us a call.
Just chat with Erin or Michael about
at least talk to Erin's sister, right?
Yeah. Erin's sister might answer too. Yeah, we're all here.
Maybe Zoey, if she's in
there. Yeah, the dogs will answer.
We'll make sure to check us all out, right? So we've got Dog Up in This Bitch, Forever USA, and Dope Dog, and we're on all the major social media channels. We've got the 30% discount that we're going to do for you, the listeners today. And if there's anybody else that you guys want to hear or listen to, make sure to reach out to the Dogish podcast. We'd love to attack those topics for you. So until next time, we like to end everything with a joke here at the Dogish podcast. What do dogs and cell phones have in common?
Tell us.
They both have caller ID.
I love a good corny joke.
That's all I got. Dog dad jokes. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
and
you.
we can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.